Driving in here, there was so many bear droppings on the road, and some of them were absolutely huge piles. And I've seen tracks on the beach already while I've been here, which is a pretty big contrast to the last time I was here, because I saw no signs of bear here, but I did on other parts of the coast. It's been really neat to see like the difference in this place between the two seasons and the two times, and even how like the beach is a little different, and I'm different. I'm no exception to that. Last time I was here, I was pretty fresh out of a breakup that was really hurtful. Yeah, things started really well, and then it just took a really dramatic turn really quickly. You know, I have pretty strong boundaries, and nobody gets to tell me how I feel about something and then hold it against me when that's not how I feel. So here I am now. Many months later in a new season, very, very happy, very content. A lot has changed in my life, a lot of my personal habits. So yeah, I've put a lot of time into myself over the last few months. And my van, obviously, I just did a whole renovation. Don't really know what I'm preparing for, but it feels like I've spent the past couple of years preparing for a big adventure. I'm not totally sure what's to come. The path ahead is has some variables that I have no control over. But I feel like I'm living about the best solo person life you could possibly live. I have mastered the art of enjoying my own company and existence and giving myself a really, really nice time. So I actually got here the night before last and wasn't sure what I was going to do, whether I was going to sleep in the van or down on the beach, but I came down to the beach and right away knew I had to spend all 5 nights here. So I moved us down, and then yesterday I spent some time trying to do some chores. I looked into a couple different freshwater options. I'm not sure if it's the flavor of the water or if it's like really, really slightly salty. Alright, so after filtering and tasting that other water, I decided it was too salty to drink. So I came poking about this other end of the beach because I'd heard some frogs. And I found this like pool of pretty gross water. It smelled fresh, but after a closer inspection, no. Just no. But didn't have any luck with that, so I went back and cooked and ate some pan bread and then loaded up a bear can full of food for the next couple days for me and Frank, along with water and art supplies, and we are back on our way to the beach. The water I had at the van won't be enough for this trip. I'll have to figure that out later. But yeah, it was a really nice day yesterday, and it's going to be a really nice day today, so I'm looking forward to bringing you along. I will give you a tour of camp in a little bit. We have quite the little setup here, and yeah, it's going to be a beautiful day. So the days are pretty relaxed here. I don't have much on my agenda, and being alone, I can just do as I feel like doing in the moment without any sort of verbalization, which is a huge thing for me. I struggle sometimes to exist in a world where everything has to be talked about. So that's one of my favorite things about just being with myself, is that I don't have to talk about anything or to plan anything. I just do as I'm called to. So in the morning we usually start out with just kind of slow time in the sun. Frank really loves to nap in the morning sun because it's not too intense, and so I just drink my coffee and do the same. Spend some time stretching and breathing and just get my body moving smoothly. I might lay in the hammock for a while and just kind of relax as the day warms up. And then when it starts to get a bit too intense, we just go in the ocean. We just go play in the ocean. This looks like a good stick for Frank. Oh yeah, bud. It's really, really refreshing, and the water is such a pretty color. It's just sand and like nice moderate sized waves. So yeah, it's like about as tropical of a place as you can get and feel while being in the Northern Pacific. It's really nice. I can't believe it's October, and it's just like the perfect time of year to be here. So I have a pretty good time out here by myself, and that's not to say I couldn't have a good time with somebody, but because I have such a good time by myself, it just doesn't feel like a priority to go out of my way to go search for somebody, when instead I could just be enjoying time like this. So yeah, I don't expect somebody to just like magically appear and blend in with my life in like a harmonious sort of way, but so I know there's people out there that would really enhance this experience, but they're pretty rare creatures in my experience. Very, very rare. And so I just don't see any reason to not spend my time like this in search of somebody when I could just be enjoying my life. So dating does seem really, really unappealing and awkward. And yeah, I just like feel like it would just be a bunch of time spent being uncomfortable when I don't need to be, because I do find I'm very, very capable of fulfilling myself and yeah, enjoying my own company, and yeah, it's just easy. It's I get to relax on all levels of my being. I can just be at ease. I also really like to focus my attention on Frank. He's a special guy, and we've been really close all these years, so it is hard to share with other people. This is so satisfying. Like, it's October. I'm covered in sand and hot and salty, and standing here in like this luxurious camp, enjoying the ocean. And watermelon. You know, the best thing about all this isn't even like how beautiful of a spot it is or how beautiful of a day it is or this tasty watermelon, but having that without drama or arguments or bickering. I just get to be here quietly, at ease, following like the whims of my soul. It is really satisfying. It's a good way to live. So this here is the main structure, main living area. We got Frank chilling. There's my tent. And down on the beach we have fire kitchen. So this is where I like to stretch out in the morning. I got the hammock. It's very nice for lounging. These posts are super sturdy. That's what we've been talking about. Here I have my solar lanterns charging, some garbage that was around here I've collected. We have a table that's very nice. Sometimes I do food prep here or water management, or it's a good height for standing to draw or write, things like that. So, And in behind here, I considered putting my tent here, but we have this spot here that stays shady when it's really hot out, which is nice. Over here beyond Frank's grasses, we have my tent. So this is home while we're here. You just come inside. So in here is our cozy little abode. It's really nice to have the two-person. I got all my art supplies here, camera stuff, or cases really. I got the sleeping bag, camp pillow, house pillow, wool blanket down over 2 thermarest mats side by side. So there's 2 mats, blanket, lots of luxuries. We got the entrance blanket as well to get sand off our feet. So this stays comfortable until about 9-ish in the morning to sleep. And then it just gets way too hot in there. It's toasty in there, which is good because as soon as the shadow hits the beach, condensation starts, like mist off the ocean. It's just super humid here. So condensation starts by dark or a little bit after dark. All the grasses are soaked, and by the time you wake up in the morning, the tent is drenched inside and out. So the heat of the sun has everything dried out by early afternoon, which is really nice. This is where I spend the most amount of my time. When I get up in the morning, I come, I sit here, I have coffee. And then as the shadow's moving across the beach in the evening, I get the fire started and get settled in for the night. I spend a lot of time here watching the fire. I was up very late the last 2 nights with just awesome fires both nights and enjoying the stars. It is waxing first quarter right now, so it'll be about 10 before the moon sets. But then the amount of stars that come out is absolutely incredible. The Milky Way is so bright. I don't know how to capture it properly. So this is the fire part of the fire kitchen, pretty self-explanatory. We got firewood I gathered earlier, some more firewood, Frank's dish drying. And then here I put the bear canisters during the day so they're not in the direct sun. Here we have the kitchen part of the fire kitchen. I brought this up off the beach, makes a really nice table, bear cans for food to keep everything safe. And this is where I do pretty much all of my cooking, prepare Frank's food, and Makes a little nice side table to the blanket here when we spend the night sitting out by the fire. Yeah, this turned out really well. This is a mix of black and pinto bean flakes, TVP, instant shredded potatoes, coconut oil, chili seasoning, a bunch of different greens powders, and crystallized lime. It's very tasty. So prior to living in a van, I had actually lived with a couple different boyfriends who unfortunately did not have my best interest in mind, and in those days I didn't have my best interest in mind either, so I chose a lot of really toxic relationships that brought out the worst in me and lost a lot of time in my life to heartbreak and despair and fighting and bickering and just honestly a bunch of stuff that's a huge waste of time. I ended up becoming a pretty heavy drinker in response to it, and a lot of kind of self-destructive behavior. It wasn't healthy. I wasn't choosing me. And living in a van allowed me to stand fully on my own and have a lot of me time to start working on that kind of stuff. So I have along the way in these like almost 9 years now of van life shared time with people for like a couple months here or there while our paths are aligned, and then they split, and it's just a fun season together, really, most of them. No drama or anything like that. It ends and it might hurt a little bit, but I didn't really expect anything of them, so it was just like, yeah, just the flavor of the season, I guess. But most of my time I have spent alone, working on myself, and it's been really nice. I've really learned to take care of myself and be kind to myself. So yeah, I think without all this time alone, I would have never had the potential for a healthy relationship. So there had been somebody else camped here the past 2 nights, but she left today, and by mid-afternoon all the day people had left, and we're just left here alone on a very remote beach. And it's wonderful, and actually nobody knows where we are. Nobody knows that we're here. We're just here being responsible for ourselves and living life to the fullest, and it's beautiful. Me and Frank are having an amazing time. But being here, I've been spending a lot of time thinking about this subject, which is why I'm talking about it, thinking about relationships and what I would like in one, what I find attractive in a partner. And yeah, it's just been on my mind a lot, just like having the best time I can have by myself, but also thinking it would be really nice to share this with somebody who is kind of on the same or similar path. And they're not on dating sites or in pubs trying to get somebody in their life. They're content on their own. And yeah, that makes them a little harder to find. Like, I'm pretty hard to find. Like I said, nobody knows where I am. So I just trust that what will be, and it's all going to be good, and I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to continue to learn and grow and have a beautiful life. So yeah, it is what it is. And I'm very content being alone. I think that's a really powerful place to be in as an individual. So I'm grateful to myself for all the uncomfortable times I was alone and for doing very difficult internal work to get to this place. Yeah. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I'm not sure what I'm up to when I leave here, but it'll be something different, and hopefully I'll see you there. Got a cute clip of Frank to send it off on your way, and I'll see you soon. Bye.